Since founding Scibiz in 2015, Jomar has led the creation of multiple ventures and delivered technology solutions for startups across the US, UK, Australia, and Southeast Asia. He's also the founder and CEO of Paytaka, a Bitcoin Cash-focused fintech company building a non-custodial financial ecosystem. Under his leadership, Paytaka has developed a crypto wallet super app, merchant payment infrastructure, and peer-to-peer financial tools designed to expand access to open, permissionless finance, particularly in emerging markets. He is a strong advocate for self-custody, peer-to-peer finance, and market-driven innovation, with a long-term vision of enabling more equitable and autonomous economic systems through blockchain and AI. Together, a big round of applause, and let's welcome Dr. Jomar C. Hagana.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. It's an honor to be here. Thank you for inviting me. I'm from Paytaka, so I'm the CEO and founder. I'm here to share about the interface of blockchain and AI. So for many of you, it may not be so clear how these two different areas or different technologies are related. So I'm talking about what's beyond the intelligent systems, what's beyond AI, and how AI and blockchain can enable autonomous economies. That should become more clear as I proceed with my presentation. So, if you think about it, it looks like AI and blockchain are going in opposite directions. Because AI tends to centralize. So if you know about AI companies like Anthropic, Google, what else? OpenAI, they have very big servers somewhere, and you are accessing their AI models, chatbots. So it's in a very centralized setup, right? And if you think about blockchain, on the other hand, the core principle of blockchain is decentralization. So how can two technologies that are seemingly opposite direction can integrate, and how these two technologies can help each other to elevate, to evolve beyond what it is now. So this is how experts see the evolution of AI. So first, when ChatGPT was launched, who is using ChatGPT here? Wow, okay. So it's almost safe to say everybody is using ChatGPT, alright? So ChatGPT, even if you think it's so advanced, it's in the level 1 of AI evolution. It's called static AI. You ask something from it, it gives answers. Okay? You ask it to write your essay for your subject, it writes you an essay. It remains to be seen if your teacher will accept it or not, but it does what it's supposed to do. But it's the first level in AI evolution. It's called static AI. You ask it something, it gives answers. They call this brain in a jar form of AI. It's brain in a jar because it's intelligent to some extent, but it's bound to a certain limit. It cannot do other things other than give you answers in text form. The next evolution of AI, which has already happened in a way, is called agentic AI. So these forms of AI your computer. So, I know you are all computer science or IT students. You must have been using some form of AI coding tool. Cursor, Windsurf, Copilot. Sino ang gumagamit ng mga tools na yan? Who among you? Be honest, be honest. There's no grading here. But many students like you are already using AI tools for coding. It's very easy, it's very powerful, right? I think it's good to encourage students to use it. Okay. So this is the next evolution of AI. Why? Because you ask it to do something and it will use all the tools available in your computer to perform that task. So in a way, meron na siyang kamay. Before, it's just a brain that gives you answer in text form. Agentic AI does it at a higher level by having sort of hands to use tools to accomplish what you wanted to do. For example, you wanted to write a function or to create an application. It will write all the code for you using all the tools available. So that already happened. The emerging next stage of AI evolution is called agentic AI. Agentic economy. So what happens here is AI now understands how to deal with money. Kasi right now, when you are using Copilot, GitHub Copilot, for example, or Cursor, how do you subscribe to these services? You, as human, you subscribe to OpenAI or GitHub, you pay for it, and then you give the API key to the tool, to the AI. Walang kakayahan ng AI, dito yung agentic AI, na magbayad ng sarili niyang subscription. Because it doesn't understand what money is. It cannot handle money. But this is an emerging field right now. Scientists and companies all over the world are now exploring this area, including Paytaka. So, the first week of April, we launched what we call Paytaka Command Line Interface. So Paytaka is a crypto wallet, by the way. What we launched in the first week of April is a command line interface that AI agents can use. So AI agents can just install Paytaka from the command line, generate an address, and can now receive payments in crypto. And it can acquire its own balance. And it can pay subscription in crypto. And if one of you here will be brilliant enough to build marketplaces for AI, then that AI agent that has Paytaka wallet installed can also buy stuff from the marketplace. Imagine having your home operated by an AI agent that has its own wallet. You just give it some money. Okay, I give you 10,000, you manage the kitchen or the home. And then the AI agent will track if there is water in the fridge, if there is milk or my eggs pa ba. And then automatically it will say, oh, we don't have eggs anymore. I will order it for you, I will pay for you. So this is the next evolution of AI. What that means is AI becomes an economic participant. It's able to participate in the digital economy. And tools like Paytaka command line interface are making this possible. And once we have the agentic economy, which is, I have said it's already emerging, the future, maybe 2, 3, or 5 years from now, is there will be the the Internet of Agents. This means na yung mga AI agents are like first-class citizens of the Internet. Hindi na natin sila slaves. They know how to participate, maybe even better than humans at that point. Ang mga competitor na natin in buying or selling products are AI agents equipped with their own wallet, equipped with their own identity. Is that scary or exciting? Exciting? It depends on how you think it. I challenge you here, yung mga galing na estudyante ng UC who are into computers, to take advantage of this emerging trend. Think about what you can build to make this happen or to participate in this emerging systems. Right? Kasi wala na kayong trabaho by that time eh. You'll be replaced by AI. AI will be writing the code. Alright? So, you better be prepared for that kind of future. So, let us just zoom in for us to understand. For us, it's normal to become participant in the economy. We work, we earn some money, we use that money to buy some stuff that we need. But for machines, for AI, that's not currently possible, right? Or in most cases, no, they cannot do it. First off, they don't have an identity. So, they need to have some kind of identity. For us, we present our ID, our passport. That's how we are identified by the banks, by the shops. But for AI agents, they need an inherent legal status or identity, and that blockchain will be able to enable. In fact, in the things that we have been doing in Tata, once our AI agent installs a wallet, it has its own private key, which is a unique key that can identify the AI agent. It generates its own unique address. In a way, that's kind of identity, right? So blockchain provides these machine actors with identity. It also provides a platform for establishing trust. How? For those who participated in our Kashmir workshop, you remember the word smart contracts. Smart contracts are just like legal statements in code. But it's not enforced by the courts that are administered by human beings. AI agents will not be able to interact with the courts. They'd rather write a smart contract, get other AI agents to agree with this smart contract, push it to the blockchain, fund it, and that's it. Code becomes law. Code becomes enforcement. And that's enabled again by the blockchain. And here, the third category is the economic participation, the payment. So I already mentioned, by equipping agents with a wallet, crypto wallet, they can receive and send money. So, when all these three are addressed, by merging blockchain and AI, you create a new participant in the digital economy, the AI agents, the machines. Okay? If you imagine this in layers, the first layer is of course the hardware, the GPUs, where these AI models are running. The identity layer is the one I mentioned where they identify themselves by a private key or an address. And the tooling, this is how AI agents communicate with each other using MCP, using API. The economic and settlement layer is the one that we are building now. And I invite every one of you to help us build that. There's a lot of things to do in this space. mawawalan man kayo ng trabaho, but you become, instead of coding, you become architects of new applications in AI and blockchain space. And then the next layer, which is still to be built, is the DAO, or the Decentralized Autonomous Organizations. In other words, someday, you will be in a video call with a company who are all AI agents. They are talking to you like other humans. So in the future, organizations will be participated in by AI agents. So zooming in on the payments, kasi our payments now, we are paid in batches. Like if you are an employee, you are paid per month. And you pay subscriptions, which are usually per month. But machines, they don't have to have the same limitation. They can pay in very small increments. So I just need a particular service, I just pay for it, maybe it's 1 cent, 10 cents. But only cryptocurrencies can enable doing that. You don't pay credit card, you don't pay using credit card pag piso-piso lang, right? You cannot do that. Mas malaki pa ang charge ng credit card kaysa binabayad mo. Okay? So, these micro payments, millions of micro payments, only the blockchain can accomplish that. And in Pitaka, we are using Bitcoin Cash for payments. So there's a number of cryptocurrencies in the market, and maybe in the future, AI will be able to navigate all these different blockchains. But in Pitaka, we are using Bitcoin Cash because it's permissionless. You don't need to ask permission from anyone to create a wallet, to send funds, to earn. And it's very cheap. The fee is cheap and predictable. Predictable is very important. If you use other chains like Solana, sa Solana, it's cheap. Pero when there is congestion in the network, it becomes very expensive. So hindi predictable ang fees. For Pitaka CLI, the tool that we created, it enables you to send, receive Bitcoin Cash, and then the AI will automatically understand how to handle payments. I wish I had time to demonstrate this, but you can look it up, pitaka.com in our blog. So we have an article there explaining how this works. I'll skip this one. Alright, so what is it for you? Partially, I already mentioned earlier. I feel that for the graduates of this year and next year, because you've been prepared for a job, maybe for coding, for getting employed in the company, but the marketplace has changed. Under the rug, not changed. So your job as a graduate of computer science and IT will change from coding to software architect, software application architect. You will be solving problems instead of writing code. Okay? You prepare for yourself for that future. Kumbaga, imbis na magbibigay ka ng bricks, you become the foreman, the architect. It will save you time from coding. So that's my take home for all of you. You have seen the evolution of AI. Nobody can stop it. So you better be prepared for this kind of future. Alright? Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you so much, Doug Comor,